In the presidency, Susan Shabangu. Thank you for joining us, Minister. Mduduzi Manana has admitted to assault. He had to. We have that incredible footage. He's still in a job, as far as we know. Is that shocking to you?
Well, I must say the actual action, it's really shocking. And on the basis of that, we cannot accept violence against women, especially this month. But you know, we've just had a series of femicide in our country, and it continues to influence that particular space. So what Manana has done, it's unacceptable. But not only that, he's a leader. And he's a young person, he's a young man. And he has a role to play of being a role model, but also represent the values of South Africa in ensuring that South Africa is safe. That's number one. But also, two, that the equality before the law happens. So I must just say, when you talk about him having to resign, unfortunately, I don't have those powers. I only heard about the matter late last night. That's why immediately I'm saying I am so shocked and disappointed by Mduduzi for what he has done, because he reflects what patriarchal society is all about, but also making women objects, and also saying masculinity still rules our country.
Shouldn't he be suspended, though? And shouldn't you, as the minister, be pushing for that?
Well, I must say, what I want to see, it's appropriate action being taken. I'm happy with what the police are doing.
Immediate suspension. He has assaulted a woman.
Well, let me also explain. I can say it, but it's not in my powers. You must also know that
Can you not speak to your colleagues? I mean, urge government to act.
Balula is acting. The police are acting, because this is a serious case. That suspension changes his attitude. Action must be taken, because how many people get suspended, but they continue with their behavior. So what we want to see is that the police investigate the matter to its finality. Not only that, we want the investigation to happen as yesterday, so that this matter can come to a closure. I must also say, as I've indicated, this reflects attitude of South African men. It also reflects how men are treating women. A whole senior young person, this is what he does. It's a reflection on how violent our society is. And within the context of all that, what I also want to raise is the people who were there, witnesses at the scene, who did nothing to deal with the matter until it went viral or on social media. What if it did not go through or viral through social media? Would Manana have admitted? I'm not sure. But also, for the lady to go to the police station to report, I welcome that. And hence that action, we need to see a decisive action being taken against Manana, because that's not the society we want, especially for women.
You're saying nobody acted, but I'm asking you, shouldn't government be acting with a suspension? And let's look at what government is doing. It's tweeting his apology. So I don't know if you saw what came out, tweeting that Mduduzi Manana says, as a leader, I should have known better and acted better. I wish to apologize to women in particular. But this is government sending out his apology, not talking about suspending him, getting him arrested, making sure that the law is enforced. It goes on further to say that he will meet with his organization, the ANC, as if this is all
But
okay.
Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Government's official Twitter account is tweeting his apology. I'm saying, should government be acting as
also let's separate the two issues so that we deal with the matter in a rational and a fair way. Because if we don't, we might create loopholes where he get away with murder. We want to see action being taken. He is tweeting. It's not government. Let's separate the two. He is tweeting.
This is on government's official Twitter account.
No, I tweet on government official account, and it's not government. When I tweet, it's not government. It's me as a minister, not represent government. I might be representing myself as a minister, but not government, so that we don't conflate the two. He is tweeting using government account. And therefore, we've got to respond.
Should that be allowed when he's a deputy minister who's put himself on the wrong side of the law? Should government not be the party that is standing back saying we are going to take action immediately? We're not going to help him by letting him use our Twitter account.
I am government here. Let me also say, I am government. I'm not coming here in my personal capacity whilst being a woman. I'm here representing government. So you have two processes of government. I'm representing women of South Africa as a whole. He is tweeting, he's saying I. He's not saying government. Those two, we must separate the two. And I agree with you fully. He has to take responsibility. He has to make sure he faces the mighty law of the country in making sure that he can answer. What we need from him also, whilst he's apologizing, we want him to explain. And we also, it's not enough for him to apologize. He must face the consequences. That's my own view. And I think government, that's what we want to see as government. And the issue of suspension, you also need to know. It's not me who can call on suspension of him, because I did not appoint him. He's been appointed by the president. So it's up to the president. What measures is he going to take place in ensuring that this become a deterrent, where we make sure that South African women are safe, because the employer must act. You are right. The employer must act. And who appoints the deputy minister? It's the president. And what I am saying on behalf of the whole government is to say we need to see action like yesterday. This is unacceptable. During August month, Nochal, and this is the leader. He leads the people of this country. He needs to lead by exemplary. So all what he has done cannot be acceptable and cannot be condoned in any way. And those who are witnesses, they are accomplices because they make no effort to report or do anything. And I must say, Lumko, I really welcome his action. And when you talk about real men, we talk about people like Lumko who cannot tolerate and stand watching when women are abused and assaulted, as we have seen on social media.
Can you use your position to ask the president to take action? Because government cannot be seen to be soft on this issue. When women are assaulted every few seconds.
I am not soft. Let's separate the two. That I'll continue.
I understand you could act. I'm saying, can you use your position as a minister and advocate for women to pressurize your colleagues in government,
going to use
even the president?
I'm not going to use it because of the position. I will insist because I'm a woman myself. Because I'm a woman. Because if we now start saying there are barriers where certain things must happen because I'm a minister. Yes, I'm a minister, but what is key? I'm a woman, and it's unacceptable. Definitely would like to see the president responding and acting on the matter. We would like to see the president acting because he's the one who appointed Mduduzi. And it's not enough. He has to face the law. He has to deal with what he has done to this beautiful, pretty woman. It's her confidence. It's how he has been treated. It's how now he has been undermined. So that's unacceptable. Whatever he claims he had done to him, it's unacceptable. It doesn't call for any attack on any woman in this country.
I agree. Hopefully there will be action, but there is a history where, like you say, things play out in government that reflect society at large, and there's not strong action. Jeff Radebe asked a GCIS employee to send him naked pictures of herself. I know you spoke about it, but has he been shamed, pressurized to step down? There doesn't seem to be a real sense of shame when men in leadership behave like that.
You know, I can't talk about Minister Radebe's issue because I don't have the full details. I read about it in the paper. Really, what happened?
I don't think he's denied it.
No, but to date, I'm unable to get someone who's able to say, this is exactly what happened. Because if action must be taken, we must make sure that the facts are there and everything is there. I accept that, but in my view, no one must be above the law. I must say to you, we can't live in a country where women continue to be undermined or where leaders continue to perpetrate violence against women because they are leaders, nothing happens to them. And as you correctly say, it has happened with Minister Radebe. I don't have the facts. But now this has come to my attention, I must say, at about 12 midnight last night. And immediately when I woke up, I was shocked. But also, I never thought Mduduzi would behave in this violent manner. That's another thing. And it also...
How does he seem to women? Have you watched his interactions?
I have found being a very nice, respectable young man. And when you look at him, the action which he has presented, it shocks me. Because I thought he's a decent boy, he's a decent young man who will be respectable. Maybe he's respectable to me, but undermine his own age group, which is unacceptable. So it also reflects attitudes. It also reflects the mindset of men, where they continue to see women as lesser human beings or not so important, therefore they can be objects, which they can do anything to them.
Minister, finally, there's criticism that we all just talk about women's issues. What practically is being done? What do you see as your mandate and practical steps to protect women in this country?
Well, one of the critical issues to protect women, it's awareness. It's by making sure that we run advocacy programs, which we are doing, not only as government, not only myself, religious groupings, private sector, civil society, because this problem, it's not a government-only problem. It's a societal problem. And I think if we all hold hands, including the media, play a role in ensuring that we speak about it. And I think recently you've seen even men coming forward and committing themselves. That's the only way we can fight this evil which is facing our country. But if we think that it belongs to one sector, we will not be able to deter it, because that's what we've been doing all along. It belongs there. If you remember 16 days of no violence against women and children, it was seen as a women issue. It was seen as a campaign for victims, and perpetrators were there. And until we took a decision that the perpetrator must come on board, we could not deal with this issue decisively. And where we are now, I want to say, we need more men like Lumko to come forward. We need all of us to stand up against violence and stop being just side watchers. And it's not only applicable to men, it's also us women, because sometimes we are participants in such activities where we watch when women are being attacked. So it's all of us. Let's all of us stand up, raise our voices. That's the only way we'll change the situation. And that's the only way we'll make sure we build awareness. That's the only way we'll make sure that when something happens to your neighbor, you will raise a voice. If we can do that as society as the whole, we will indeed have a peaceful and a stable South Africa. Lastly, I also want to say, the violence against women and children in our country, it's also within the broader context of a violent society. A violent society. Look at what happened at KFC. It's a reflection of a society which refuses to do away with violence. A small thing, people get irritable to a point of exchanging blows. It can't be right. So ours, as a society, as a whole, as communities, we need to hold hands and say it cannot continue to be like this, including Manana. He must take responsibility for his action.
All right, thank you for your response in studio this afternoon. Minister of Women in the Presidency, Susan Shabangu.